Let's talk a bit about the technical implementations of co-creation. What kind of platforms or tools have you been using so far?
I mainly tried to work with the Microsoft tools. So that's Microsoft Teams is what we used. And yeah, in Microsoft Teams you can use then Word, PowerPoint, these kinds of typical Microsoft tools where students can work together in one file. So we let teachers make a file with the course material, and then students could work on that file. But we had one main issue with this, and it was very hard to strike a balance between these two. In Microsoft Word, it's only possible to give students full access to your document or no access at all. So you have to really trust them completely with your document, because they can make all sorts of changes. If they, for instance, erase everything, then everything is of course erased. It keeps your version history, of course, but it's not a very practical way to work. It would be more ideal if you could have like a setting where students can just give comments or make suggestions for changes, rather than the actual changes are already in place.
And are you notified when students make changes?
Yeah. You can see when a student has done something to the file, and then I think you can also see what they have done exactly.
Yeah. We use the Google Doc system, which gives you actually the advantage. First of all, I have written the course together with the main professor who teaches the course. So writing together on these Google Docs was actually a very good way of writing it together. And then we can choose between 3 levels of letting our students interact with the course. Either they can just view the course, that's not something that we use. Or you could, at the other end of the spectrum, say that they can immediately edit the course, just the way that we edit the course. We don't do that either. We take the option in the middle, which is that they can comment, and they can also make suggested changes to the course. But of course, it has to first be validated by me or the main professor to actually stand.
Yeah, and that's actually what you want, right? You don't want students to just make changes. And in OneDrive, that was just not possible. So that was a bit tricky. We went around this a bit by having these documents in Microsoft Teams, and there they could have a discussion about a certain document, but not in the actual document. So we tried to solve it like this, but I think the Google way is, in this case, better.
Yeah. I think one of the downsides is that there's only the owner of the document gets notifications about changes that have been made. That also makes it so that I'm usually the first one to react, but that actually gives the impression that I'm more involved with the student compared to the main professor who is teaching the course, which is not something that you want to create.
No, and also the other students should be notified that someone has made a change.
Absolutely.
And that also doesn't happen in this case. So
no, indeed. And
technology-wise, I think there's a lot to be explored yet. It's nothing that I have encountered was perfect.
Yeah.